Joining us from Miami are Karmaloop CEO Greg Selkoe and creative director Pharrell Williams, who you may know from many, many other things. Pharrell, let's start with you. You've been very innovative in terms of the way you've built your brand based on the changing habits of young consumers. How do you convince 20 to 35-year-olds to watch a new cable television station?
Well, you just got to give them what it is that they're looking for. And what we've talked about doing, Greg and I and his entire team, we talked about just doing something that was like super fun and, you know, something that encourages, you know, the user to be both online and watching this network because it has the things that they're looking for. There are things that are just being completely, there are things that are being completely overlooked. And what we want to do is just give those things to people. The best platform, and I mean, it seems like right now that cable network is like, you know, it's the best ticket in town.
Yeah, I mean, I'd add that TV is still very relevant.
Greg, yes,
well,
what is being overlooked on television with so much content, moving online, moving mobile? What's your vision for Karmaloop TV?
Well, I think, like, if you watch TV today, I mean, there's a lot of repetitive content. I think all of the movie channels all compete for the same movies, big blockbusters, things like that. And I think there's a place for a channel that has all these cult classics, 80s movies, B movies, Kung Fu movies. We're going to do a lot with Kung Fu. And really, they're disparate titles. They sound like it. Exactly. Look, Pharrell's already practicing. We're going to do a remake of Enter the Dragon starring Pharrell. But
no, starring Enter at Pharrell.
Yeah,
For real Pharrell.
Yeah, For real Pharrell on Twitter. But anyways, so basically we just think that there's a real opportunity here because if you look at the content that's online, it's, you know, pretty edgy and cool and interesting, and it appeals to this demo. And it's not that our demo doesn't want to watch TV, because they definitely want to watch TV. It's just that they, you know, don't have anything on for them right now.
Yeah, and
so
especially
MTV...
like purposed content for them, like that's been made for them, because it's what they're into, instead of having to like watch rehashed remakes and of course reruns. I mean, not to like go on an R tangent, but you know.
So where exactly is the content going to come from? Is MTV of the digital generation, is that the correct way to label this?
Well, I would say this. I mean, I think that's a fair assessment, just that we want to emulate MTV in its early days. And MTV is obviously still a great channel and has, you know,
sure,
but it's changed the demographic that it's after. And there, when it first originally started, there was a little bit more edgy, sort of artsy, cultural, creative, young youth culture that they were serving. And they're not targeting that market right now, so we think there's a really big void. It's not a music television channel per se. Music's a big part of the offering, but if you look at Karmaloop, the brand, you know, we started out as an online retailer, but we always had content on it. It's really about not just the clothes or the music. It's about a whole lifestyle. It's action, sports, art. I mean, if you look at someone like Pharrell, he's done you know, many cross you know, pieces in those categories, and I think I hear the music. But I think that, you know, we want...
Yes.
Pharrell, you do have so many different things going on. You've got a clothing line, you've got a liqueur. Would you say that it's essential these days for musicians to have different sources of revenue, different businesses?
That's very interesting, and that's a whole different conversation in itself. It's a whole different book. But yes, I think it's important for all artists, not just musicians, but all artists to work on a multitude of platforms, because that's what you're meant to do. You're not meant to just work, you know, just in one little dimension in one world. Like even myself, I had to expand myself and like, because I've stayed away from it for so long, but I'm now on Twitter. Because at the end of the day, you want to have a direct contact with your fans. Yeah. Aren't you going to ask me what my Twitter handle is?
Well, I know what your Twitter handle is. It's For Real Pharrell, right? Or Pharrell for real?
Did you? Did you spell it?
with 2 fours.
Okay.
But speaking of,
oh, you're following me? I need to follow you.
I'm following you. Hey, I'm connected. Speaking of, and you should follow us at Emily Chang TV, at Bloomberg West, at Corey Johnson TV. That's my plug. But speaking of, you know, social media, digital music, we've been covering the whole digital music revolution. There are so many services out there now with Spotify, Groove Shark, Pandora, Pharrell. Do you have any favorites in particular that you like to listen to?
No.
They're all good.
Think hard there.
No, I mean, I love what Pandora does. I think that's super awesome.
But I think, you know, that's a good point in terms of going back to the channels. Pandora curates, right? You put in a song that you like, and they bring you other songs you like. And we're going to do the same thing with the channel. We know what our audience wants, and we're going to curate and bring them other pieces of you know, entertainment that they want to see.
And you know what? Also, I just want to add that, like, it's also important to use a platform of like a Bloomberg, because, you know, we are connected. We want to connect to this audience because your audience is diversified more so than what most people think. There are young kids who like the same kind of things that we do are watching, and they're paying attention to what's going on with the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. Like they're paying attention to what's going on and where things are trending business-wise too. So that's why I just wanted to make sure you know that's why we wanted to do this show.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised how many kids are into that.
Guys, we're going to have to leave it there, but I agree, tastes and viewing habits are changing quickly with technology. Pharrell Williams and Greg Selkoe, thank you so much for joining us from Karmaloop. We'll be right back.